Hi everyone, and here we are live again. And once again, I'm so grateful to have a new laptop, so I'm able to do the live videos again and keep a closer contact with everyone, if you will. So today I really didn't write up any points to discuss. Most is in divine flow and comes from the heart, as well as from any questions that any of you may have. So, at any time, if you have any questions on the current ongoings with the Ascension, please drop the questions in the comments section and I'll answer them. And you know what I need to say, there is no question that is stupid or not relevant. So, having said this, any question you may have about your individual journey and process and development, that is in alignment with the Ascension and even everything occurring in the external outside world is also part of the Ascension. So, no question, if you will, is not irrelevant. Everything is relevant and does play a role in everything going forward. Uh, so what I will do, and of course for any new ones, this is organic tobacco, and organic tobacco is actually beneficial for those that it is. And by no means do I promote any cigarettes that have chemicals in them. Uh, so it's important to know that organic tobacco can actually have many good benefits, but that's not what this is about. Uh, so, having said that, the overall ascension, it's indeed been a tedious, extensive duration thus far, if you will, but we see everything culminating at once, which is great. And what I mean, everything culminating is the implosion of the old paradigm and the creation of the new simultaneously. So everything is speeding up to that effect, and still perceive and still feel and still am given by November, we should be in a most unprecedented good place. Beyond any proportions yet, what I need to say with that. So, am I coming in loud and clear? May I have someone just write in the comments if you can hear me well and if the video is flowing well. Thank you. What I'll also say, I'll be having perhaps having a Telegram um, audio call chat tonight. That is possible. Not confirmed yet. And if it is, I'll put out a notice to that respect that I will be having one, probably a hour's notice. So we'll see how that occurs. For those of you that are both Facebook users and Telegram users, thank you, Kate. Excellent. Yeah, so we got good feed, and we're going forward. Uh, so right up from this point, and since you become awakened or familiar with the ascension, it's been cyclical, an upward spiral always of, let's say, getting pummeled by energetic effects, upgrades, and constantly doing the inner work to advance yourself forward in your divinity as a whole. And it's been, quite a process. And again, to keep it simple, what in this reality, what makes it so difficult is all of the outside energies that one also needs to contend with at some point, to organize what energies is actually your own and what belongs to the outside world, what is being generated and projected. So these are basics, if you will. Thank you, Maya. Yeah. So this is what It's keeps the one moment. Oh, we got him. So it's been pretty well the same, but what is occurring? Everything is expediting, and and going forward, it will, and it is. And again, this is not an individual ascension. It is the entire planet for the human soul. So that makes it a little bit more lengthy and more difficult. In 2015 linear time, all souls that heard what I'm about to say and that know it are able to change their soul contract to upgrading it even instantly every day. And this is important to know that once you come into the awareness, for example, that there is no such thing as sin or karmic debt, the instant that you know that, you apply this to your soul to set yourself free. And it depends upon each individual's level to how effective that is. For some, it's an instant uplifting. For others, it may not be noticeable in the beginning, but once you take those steps and, of course, speak all of these important things out loud, verbally, to creation, to the universe, to Mother, Father, and God. And what you begin to do is program the reality with these higher things, and then you begin to experience it for yourself. So, Kate says, noticing bright white light in peripheral more than usual. This is excellent, Kate. Also, what I can confirm, I believe about 3 days ago, I began seeing lots of flashes, if you will, in reality of white light as well, bright white light, and very rapid milliseconds in length, perhaps, flashes, and with it, so what I do is when I experience a flash, I'll stop, I'll keep still, and I'll just keep the eyes just staring in space, and then you may see more, and this lets you know it's not just an anomaly or something with the eyes. So it's but these are also, if you're to look at the space weather yesterday, more notably, you'll see funny lines sometimes, and red and blue. I don't know scientifically what they mean by it, but divinely, as soon as I see these odd dips that are different colors on, I forget what they call it, but where you watch the flares for the last 3 days, when you see these unusual dips, they are indicative of timeline shifts and shufflings as well. And you'll begin to see how um, the instruments of Earth, like the one I just said that records the flares, as well as the Schumann resonance, you'll see these picking up and coinciding with the times of seeing flashes, feeling upliftment, feeling emotion. So you'll see that it is not by chance, and that it cannot be refuted by anyone inside nor outside the spiritual realms, that it's actually is. It's real. And as we go forward, science is more substantiating, what the esoteric and the metaphysical world and community has repeatedly said. So what we're seeing is a reestablishment in this time of that ancient gnosis, which is divine knowledge, is the definition I use for gnosis. It's not to identify a Gnostic group or a Gnostic movement. It is gnosis in general, which is knowledge, divine knowledge, and higher knowledge. So it is, all of these things are true and new things. We're seeing ones, for example, seeing multiple suns at times, multiple moons at the same time, and and then they don't. And what's occurring is that ones need to understand with your multidimensionality that you're not constant in space and time, and especially once your root has been activated, this is your multi-dimensional ability, which um, which doesn't restrict you to linear space and time. And then what this means, you may be oblivious to an upliftment in your multi-dimensional state, and you could be looking up in the sky and see one moon setting in the west while another is up in the sky rising in the east. Now, what occurs is that you're not actually in the reality where there is two moons. What is actually occurring is you are straddling two-dimensional space and time continuums. So you're in between two. So you're not uh, confined to linear time. So you're actually seeing the moon come up in another time, in another place, but at the same time, you're seeing it begin to fall. So you're occupying two-dimensional spaces at once. And this this beautiful ability, it also occurs in various forms of, like, bilocating. It's directly connected to this. Also, a projection of your soul into a physical vessel somewhere else, meaning you could be in two places at one time. In the past, this was very rare, of course, but we are in the Ascension times, meaning that everything good is possible. And so you may see more of this, and you will see more of this as we go forward. So, there are very many beautiful, magical, divine things to discover and learn about creation, and of course, what was termed the mysteries of life. So you're now able to go beyond the mysteries of life and have more knowledge that explains it, so it does not become as mysterious any longer, because we are ascending out of the human world where the mysteries of life kept that old paradigm intact, but it no longer serves. So to do this, to ascend out of the old paradigm, you are given introductions to more of these beautiful multi-dimensional esoteric divine interactions and activations and connections, and of course introductions and the confirmations to yourself that it is very real, and of course that you're not crazy, as many were led to believe by the old system in the past. So in this great time of coming together, many that would stay in their closets, not say about their profound miraculous experiences because of their fear of being ridiculed, are now coming out and joining, and it's becoming common knowledge. And I've seen this so beautifully progress over, let's say the last several years to a decade at least. It's becoming more and more. Ever since 2012, if you will, when I came more predominantly on the scene with my divine role on the planet. And a lot had came into their divinity to some degree in that time. And of course, as we proceed forward, many more are. But this is also to say that there was the smaller group of the pioneers prior to 2012 that seeded, did the necessary divine work and seeded the timelines for this now as well. So they were a smaller select group, and of course some of those are still with us here today. Okay, we have a question from Belinda. She says, how is this going to be if Trump's supposedly doing Nasara Jasara, and here you all with GPMS? Will there be two systems, or is one dark, one light? Please clarify your thoughts. Belinda, with this, let me just say that if the Jasara Nasara belief, if that was going to come to fruition, GPMS would not have been necessary. So GPMS has the full divine endorsement, if you will, and it's transparent and it's public. If you look at a Nasara and Jasara, look at its attributes. A lot of it is concealment. They include NDAs, which is concealment, which is separation. So when you look at the effects, when you compare the two, with GPMS, it's fully open with transparency. This is God, and you can come to your own conclusion with that. Let me also say politics is not a part of the future, nor, to my knowledge, any of these ventures that Trump is proposing. It doesn't free the people. What it actually does, if Trump is doing Nasara and Jasara, it's back into the old. So it's a narrative to keep control of people by the very ones that created all of the problems for humanity. For anyone that's genuine, including Trump, if he's genuine, being a competent leader, he would recognize the absolute divine power and solution of GPMS. So any leader that is competent would recognize that this is what needs to be done and how easy it is to be done. And with what GPMS does, as we say, once the majority voice is gathered worldwide, it ratifies the lawful agreement of divine law. And what this instantly does, just two attributes of what it does, is it eradicates all suffering and all poverty instantly worldwide. So this is a huge thing. So in reality, what you should have is any competent leader, genuine leader, instantly recognizing and supporting GPMS, because GPMS is the most simplistic logic. Majority vote rules, and once it's ratified by a majority, it becomes the law and it becomes the reality. So having said this, no, in the past, any leader is not stupid. They're not incompetent to the respect to simply understand what GPMS is doing and how the majority rules. So having said this, what I say is that if Jasara and Nasara was a reality, GPMS would not have been needed, yet GPMS is there. So you decide for yourself. Okay, I think we had another question here. And of course, Belinda, in the near future, with what you're saying, it would take I could take a whole show on this to clearly show ones why GPMS is the actual divine vehicle, and I could show all of, if you will, the red flags in the other concept. But our focus is ones that believe Jacera Nasera. Our focus is not to try to change their beliefs, because if they're in line with that belief, then it would be a waste of energy and time for us. So what we do is we collect the ones that are aware and that know and recognize what GPMS is as the ultimate solution. So these other ones, if you will, that are still believing lesser things, and don't fully know the truth of the extents of the evil yet, well, they find it out through their experience. But what's occurring very quickly, with this, it's all imploding. Uh, and one of the simple things, how many excuses can you make up, and how many millions of times can you fool people that it's happening tomorrow? The thing is, tomorrow never comes, if you will. At 1 millisecond after midnight, it's today. So it's no. And yeah, without going further in that, I'll just leave it there with you. And we can in the future do more on it. But also, what I need to say, Belinda, I would not be sitting here saying these things. Let's look at this. For I to say that Jacera and Nasara is perhaps not going to happen, for I to say that, what am I to gain from that? And really, it's nothing. But what I'm to gain is by speaking the truth about it, by what I know and what I'm sent to the planet to do. So it doesn't matter to I if I'm not a popular item. That's not what it's about. It's about I divinely given the truth and the insurance for humanity to fully free them and enslave them from the trickery and false narratives that are out there. And I continue forward with it. I'm not looking for brownie points at pleasing everyone or anyone to, let's say, profit off of it, because that is not right. It's not morally correct. That's what is wrong with the world. You don't put money in the hands of a few. That is not divine. It's inequality. It's wealth disparity. It is discriminatory. It is a form of prejudice. These are not correct things. That's why GPMS doesn't do that. It puts the money equally into the hands of all, and into all of the essential services that we need upon the planet. It does what is morally right for everyone. It doesn't demean anyone. It doesn't lower anyone. It doesn't enslave anyone. It frees everyone. But all right, I'll have a look and see what else we got here for questions. Yeah, no politics. Yeah, that is what they do. What Kate said. Yeah, with politics, they actually all go to lunch together, and also what they'll decide when they don't go to lunch together. The different parties, they'll play. If you ever watch the movies or know yourself, there is a good cop, bad cop play, but they both work for the same sides to create the illusion, that there's a conflict going on, and to get ones to support them with aggression and animosity and competition, which is an energy that the darkness loves. So they love to create conflicts with their own. So they have, let's say, a dark one that's acting like a good cop, and they'll have a dark one that's acting as the dark cop. But they both work for the same side, and their underlying agenda and intent is to maintain control over humanity. If it wasn't, we'd already have the GPMS heaven on earth scenario here now. It's not that difficult. If I, right today, had the majority of voice uh, with the GPMS ratified, everyone would be in absolute instant wealth. There would be no hunger, no stress worldwide. And the point, what I am making with this, is that this is how easy it's done. In the blink of an eye, it can be done. But then you question and look, why hasn't it been done? No one is that stupid, especially what the so called leaders were of the world. They could have made humanity very happy, but why did they make them suffer? So any leader is not supposed to be as stupid to make humanity suffer and enslave them. So this means that the leaders actually had an underlying agenda, nefarious intent. It's the only logical explanation. And as you go into the divine explanation, you come to see really how real that was. Yeah. And greetings to Corey and Jacqueline and Lorraine and Andrea. So great. Any more questions with that? What I will say, the the capitalistic system is the evil system upon the planet, and the network of the governments, which are puppets to puppet masters. And any time in the past you would have, let's say, a good soul that would go in to try to change politics, but very quickly they'd be inundated and ejected out of it. Because, if you will, the actual politics is what you call an old boys club of ones that are very rich, and they control what occurs. So, it's and what this means with governments. That's why it's not part of the future, because it's all manipulated, and it's part of a capitalistic control system to actually enslave humanity. GPMS is the system that doesn't use all of these mechanisms. It uses money as the good tool and enriches all and raises all boats. And that's why GPMS is the divine instrument, while the current worldwide system is actually the evil system, because it is the cause of everything that is wrong in the world. So, any other questions? Well, Belinda says right, so in a sense, Trump's not as under God as he pretends. Sadly, yet this issue still prevails until we get there. Let's say it's not to say that Trump is not under God as he says or pretends. It's what it is that if he is a divine soul, he's not consciously awake to knowing the real evil. So, with that, is the lack of competence, what is required to free a people. And it's not freeing a people by any existing constitution, and especially in the U.S. The entire legal structure, worldwide, national, and also international, with law, it doesn't work, and it's not designed to work. Even with international law, there is no one to enforce it other than the people themselves. And with the last measure that can be taken when international law doesn't work, then by default, instantly, when international law doesn't work, it is the people worldwide that is the superior law. And the people worldwide, backed by God, is the absolute law. All of these international laws and legal legal legislations, whatever you want to call it, these are all man-made artificial laws. They are not real laws, but they are imposed upon ones as being tricking ones into think that they are real laws. But I'll stop there because I don't want to. Again, I could speak about this, for many hours showing the old. But what I'd rather do is show everyone the new. Shift your focus off the old. The entire thing. It did not work to ascend you and uplift you. It was never meant to work in your favor. So it is a waste of time to focus on it. You take the whole thing as the problem and throw it in the garbage. Wipe the slate clean. We know how to do the new world. That's where everyone is to put their focus on that. And, with this bit by bit, but exponentially, it's expediting. Um, More and more are awakening even further every day to this fact, to know what needs to be done. And in reality, the power is with the people. And when you look at governments or what have you, governments are actually employees of the people. The people are the actual employers that supposedly selected these leaders for the most part, except with some dictatorships. But again, I don't want to go down into that. Let's talk about the good things here and energize those so we make the good happen quicker. We had enough of the old, so why energize it? Let's do this and make this happen quicker. Okay. Paula Joe Lent says, Rick, if the puppet masters are not humans, but another evil type of being, some say living below ground and controlling politicians, etc., are those nefarious beings eradicated from the planet in the current frequency? Absolutely, Paula. See, what happens with energy and existing in a dimensional realm, it's about the density of the energy and the purity of it. So to keep it simple, uh, purity is truth, transparency, compassion, love, gratitude. What this does, it creates an energetic environment where nothing evil can exist because it's simple physics, if you will. Um, so so the nefarious beings, yes, are being eradicated. Most of them are gone. It's uh, it's a continued in the past. It's a continued belief by human souls that they exist, but in reality, there is very, very few of them. And as we continue to go forward, their numbers are becoming much smaller. And in actuality, the human souls greatly outnumber any of the fabrications, which includes clones and cyborgs and what have you, of the darkness. So, as I said and put out in the update, I think yesterday or the day before, again, the battle is already won, and all of the souls are given even though they have not done all of their purity yet, they're given the choice to choose the heaven on earth. So they're given it in a logical way, because really it's not enough time to teach everyone, to teach billions. So what we're doing divinely, we're giving them this simple choice. Do you want this beautiful new world? If you do, just get your consent in, get your vote in, so we ratify it, and everyone simply knows the majority rules, and this is what occurs. And also, none of this would be possible if the darkness had any power. And the real truth is, no, the darkness has no power. They were the masters of illusion. That was their power, by making ones in the past to believe they were worthless and that they had to obey and comply with what the darkness said. But that is no longer the case. So, yeah, we've already won. We're just playing the physical roles out here to take it to a rapid fruition. So, yeah. And with Belinda just says she don't see how we'll fully get GPMS until we're rid of the politics system. Well, what occurs is the politics system, there is no contest. They cannot compete with GPMS, what it is. So you don't need to focus on trying to get rid of the politics. In the past, it doesn't work. You cannot get rid of the politics in the existing system, because the existing system is designed to keep the politics in place. So this is why GPMS is a brand new system. You don't need the politics in it at all, because the politics are a dark mechanism to control the people. Where GPMS is divine, you don't even focus on the politics, and you don't try to break down the politics, because that will waste your energy and your time. We already know upon the planet that 99% of the human souls are in their heart, meaning they don't want to have war. They want peace. They want comfort. They don't want to struggle. So what we do with GPMS, with these divine ones, we just get them all together because they are the majority. So we have already clinched the win, if you will, in this reality. So we tell ones, don't even look at the politics. It's all a stage. It's all a game to keep you distracted. The more you look at this, then the longer it takes to get your freedom created. And that's what the darkness does. They want to distract, so they get your energy and your focus on these things. So the more they keep you distracted, they keep you in complacency, and you never get the new created. So this is part of their tactics. But where they were the masters of illusion, God, we are the ascended masters, which is above that. So we create the new for the people, and the darkness in their tactics, none of it works. Their false narratives and their illusions to maintain control over the people rapidly implode. So we don't need to put a finger on this. It organically self destructs on its own. And this is what's occurring. If you're to take a genuine poll of the world today, you would see that over 85% of the population of the entire planet does not trust any form of government. So, what this tells you, they're ready to trust their full worth, their full enrichment, and the new world. So it's all set up for this as well. And the quicker the focus gets on constructing the new world, the quicker it gets done. So not two parallels. It's what I will say is you could say two timelines. The lower timeline plunges; it goes into devastation, but that goes into devastation with all of the darkness. There are no human souls that chose to go on that. They chose to go on the heaven on earth scenario. So the darkness goes on that lower timeline, but it keeps separating as more and more makes choice from not supporting the old system and chooses the heaven on earth, the higher timeline. The separation becomes further away than all are in the heaven on earth. The human souls in the darkness just cannot do it and cannot make it, to keep it that simple. So, I'm just looking to see if there are some more questions. Are Stargates real? Yes, yes, they are. If so, is Stargate 4 operating under loving control? Yes. What you need to, Corey, with this, we have all Stargates opened until the 22nd Stargate. So they're all opened, ready, under control, if you will. There's two that's not open, but in a flick of a switch, they are open to facilitate the new paradigm in the heaven on earth. But they are all multi-dimensionally reestablished, reconnected on earth. Now, if you hear anything different that says they aren't, that the darkness controls them, these are false narratives to try to trick you into believing that the darkness controls them, to keep one separated from the truth. But the real truth is no. Um, the darkness, what the darkness had, they could never go beyond the fourth dimension, because to go beyond the fourth dimensional space, you cannot be dark to do it, if you will. This is like Jesus said with a rich man trying to get a rich man through heaven because he had greed, was like trying to get a camel through the eye of a needle. That the only way, let's say a rich man, if a rich man is a human soul, the only way that he can get to heaven, if you will, is to change his ways completely. And let me say, there are some financially rich divine ones on earth to facilitate the new world as well, with the rapid transition into it, and they will come into play. They should be coming into play now. I'd anticipated several years ago. However, they are still there, and they will come into play. Getting back to what you were asking about, yeah, what was it? Stargates are real. I had another train of thought, and divinely it just went. So that is fine. Um, they're all being reestablished, and it has to be for the new paradigm we're creating. There's lots of goodies, magical, multi-dimensional fun things in the heaven on earth scenario when we get it created, the fifth dimensional state of being for humanity. So there's many interesting things to come with that. But this is the truth. We have everything under control. If we did not, none of us would be here today having this discussion or even be existing. So, for this very fact, it tells you the darkness does not have any control. The light is actually running the show, has the control. And Paula Joe says, she says, I came in a bit late. Did you provide a twin flame update already, or if not, speak about it. Yes, yes. With the twin flames has been interesting. We had, let's say, back in perhaps March or April, it was beginning to strengthen, and we saw unions beginning to uh, come close to connection. But then we had a lull again. And this lull, let me say, was unanticipated by I, and from the knowledge, from the information I received. However, it's all divinely again planned that we had to once again go down into the lower timeline, if you will, to seed it with more information for these other huge waves that were coming up. So, if you, let's say, a twin flame pair that were coming close to union, they had to separate because they were divinely called to go down again uh, to assist and to play certain roles. So if they were into union, let's say, they would not be in this reality where they were divinely needed down here. So there were some things that changed. And with the divine plan, strategy, and ascension, there are rare times that the divine plan will change. But again, it's rare that it does in this time. What I'm seeing now as an update for the twin flames, now we have considerably raised the vibration once again uh, on Earth, and as a result, the twin flames that are not together are starting to come together again. But you need to look at Gpms.world as well as the divine energetic environment that facilitates all of these twin flame unions as well. So it all goes hand in hand. So the bigger that the ratification of GPMS gets, the more of a stress-free environment in this world that it creates, then the less work the twin flames have to do with this, and they're able to come together, and they're supported as well by this great energy. See, there is another component with the old the old structure, the worldwide system, how it created disharmonic relationships between a man and a woman, and how it actually, the system, created all of the distortions that controlled one with their behavior. So the cause was the current worldwide system. And what had occurred, you saw ones coming together in disharmony, not in love. So as a result of this, as we go forward, many relationships had been reshuffled, many divorces, separations, to come into the higher alignment with ones that were compatible with the love to create the new reality that we're doing, the heaven on earth scenario. But during this process of getting from here to there, the twin flames that are able to be up there at least for a little bit, they have to come back down to be the way showers and examples for the others as well. And also, you can say there's a bit of energy that is reconciled and transmuted, so that the burden is taken off of these ones energetically that cannot see. And what it does, then it allows these ones to raise incrementally a little bit higher. Then the twin flames come back up to a higher place and may have to go down later again to do things. But it's forever going up higher and higher. So, the twin flame journey, if you will, it is a very tedious job until we get it all done. And that's where the reward is at the end of the rainbow and the heaven on earth. And that's where two are able to come together in the complete harmony. So we are transitioning the relationships, if you will, as well. And as an individual twin flame consort or counterpart, you'll witness common themes out there with divine feminine and divine masculine both that will occur at certain times, and you'll notice it in just not one, you'll notice it in many. And the more you look on a certain day at a certain time, you'll see there's so many that are going through that same test of that day, that same common theme, to get it mastered and lay it to rest so they can go forward. So it's with the twin flames again. It's not per se. Part of it is romantic, like there are brief times, but it's mostly a lot of work until we get up to the true divine romantics of it all. So it's quite a thing with that. So what else do we got here? So with the twin flames, yeah, Paula, there will be more, I believe, coming in the next week, and with some of the advanced teachings in the Telegram group that we have as well. I've been very busy. Everyone, please understand that I divinely multitask every day, doing so many things, and there are times, I'm the bulldozer and my energy, I keep it mainly intact and strong. And also, when I'm assisting ones, I can take a lot of negativity in before I need to reset my fields as well for the next step forward. So, what I'm saying with this, there are times that I need space, yes, to with the role I play to reset reality as well. And so I keep very busy, and it's one thing that I say, you know, when I say things, I don't say, usually, I am having a Facebook Live next Friday. I don't say, I am having. I will say, I may have. And this is important because I'm always on divine call and divine disposal, that where I need to be and what I need to do at any given time, I am fully open to that divine direction, and it's important that I do so. So, what this also means is that the Rick you see here is not acting from the Rick's free choice and decisions at what to do. I am actually divinely given what to do, and this is what I follow and obey. Uh, and this is the way divinely that it's set up, and that it's all divinely organized and orchestrated. So for I, this is the flow. I will say maybe, like I said earlier, I may have a telegram audio tonight, or I may not. And ones need to also, it's very important for individuals also to not commit nor restrict yourself to a timeline with this. It's always good to say, well, perhaps, mayhaps, maybe, but to be truthful with ones as well. It's when you're in this divine ascension journey, and if you get called during the day to do something else that has the divine priority, you don't wish to be um, restricting yourself to a logical outcome. So that's why we say don't plan things. Keep in the flow, keep as much in the now moment as you can. So, and thank you, Jacqueline, for always believing and trusting in I. As you know, and this is funny, if everyone at face value, or when they first come into contact with I, would trust and believe, we'd have everything perhaps done. But then also, uh, everything is divinely perfect, so it's meant to go this way. But there's times I look up and say, come on, Father, let me perform the miracles now so we get this done. But Father says, no, not time yet. So we have to, I have to obey that. But you know, it's like with all of you as well. We were all levitating now and doing these miraculous things that it could perhaps have some sort of a shock that divinely it's not time for it yet, but we're right on the threshold of it. Anyhow, Gary Stucci says, seems like this time in history is balanced with light and dark. I disagree with that. And then he says, when the darkness is gone, what happens to the balance? He says, might be a silly question. No, it's a very important question, actually, Gary, and thank you. So the last part of his question says, when the darkness is gone, what happens to the balance? Well, the balance that one sees with the light and dark is actually an illusion that allows for the darkness to stay in existence. What we are actually doing with this overall ascension is we are pure light. We have no darkness. So what this means is we go to 100% light and experience the light experiences and realms while the darkness does not go. And actually, in this time, you can use proportionately that the light is about 3/4, 2/3 to 3/4 is light, while the rest of what you're calling as a balance is only 1/3 to 1/4. So the light is already more, and there is not a balance with that. There is the elimination, obliteration of the darkness from the equation altogether. So, so what happens is that what ones may think is you need to have balance between a dark and a light, that is a falsity. No, you create a full balance with the light itself, 100% balance within light without any darkness. Darkness is the contamination, it is the infection, it is the anchor to this reality. So, no, that's a great question. Thank you, Gary, for bringing that up and gave me the opportunity to explain, a little bit. You look at some of the instrumental foundational teachings and shamans perhaps in the past would use it, Buddhists, where you have the balance of light and dark, but that no longer serves. We're going to full light, but this was a point, let's say 100 years ago, to get ones to 2012 or what have you, to understand that the light has to take control of the darkness. So when you hit 50-50, you continue on to the full light. So we are past that. The example is still used for other ones, perhaps just starting in their journey as an analogy and as a guideline, but very quickly they don't need to, in the old ways, go through so many experiences because the pioneers have already cleared much of that field and prepared it for them. So it's a much quicker and rapid ascension now with ones that are constantly awakening. They don't need to go through so much. Usually there are again unique cases where ones still need a certain amount of experience, but as we keep going higher, these experiences become unnecessary and are omitted. So with this ascension, it's more, once one makes the choice, it makes the right choices to be moral and purify, well, instantly they catapult their self forward, and their environment and their energetic experiences change very rapidly. Yeah. And Dina says, "Hi, brother. Can you explain the difference between Divine Mother and Mother Mary? Many are confused. Thank you." To keep this simple, Dina, you know what has occurred. The mother is precious and genuine, but there's many identities of the one mother. And what we wish to do with this, because there are so many identities, what we wish to do is these are all aspects of the mother. So they are all one. They're just different attributes of it. To keep it as simple is what I like to say. So Divine Mother for Divine Mother is with Divine Father, which is through the Sun portal comes through to this reality is one of the main avenues right now, but it's not entirely how it works because the access to Mother and Father God is in the particles of creation, no matter where you're at. It is the belief that is the communication and the connection to Mother and Father. So, Mother and Father is in all of the particles, the molecules, but all of these particles and molecules within you is also the Mother and Father when you activate it through the belief that it is in the knowing. Um, so, let's say through religion with Mother Mary, if you will, many believe that yes, that is the mother of God, if you will, and they look at Jesus as being God. So there's different perspectives of it, but nevertheless, we don't need to complicate it and create confusion. It's best just to know that there is the motherly God and the fatherly God, and we just keep going forward with that until all answers are explained fully for once. So we keep it as simple as possible. Um, so what I say, you asked, explain the difference. In reality, there is no difference. It's just what one chooses, how they choose to identify with mother. If it's a divine mother, prime creator, or if they identify with the image of Mother Mary, it's all the same thing. It's just the perspective in the alignment of the individual with that belief and their perspectives to take them forward. So we can say it's their identity they chose as their lifeline to take them up. So, which is beautiful. And of course, we have Mary Magdalene, which is important, and all of the divine feminine aspects. In reality, uh, each one of you, a feminine, what I wish to say is a feminine representation of God. All of the masculine are masculine, divine masculine, are masculine representations of God as well. And there are ones that use the terms of Christ and God interchangeable, and that's perfectly fine because whether ones think they're separate or together, it's all the same thing because they are parts of the whole. So it doesn't matter. And this is the same with Mother Mary, if you will, and Mary Magdalene. It's all part of that one. So we don't need to separate it. It's better to respect and understand others' beliefs that they have now as we evolve forward. And the beliefs are used as the tools to get everyone's forward. Without a belief, you have no direction forward. So everyone needs to believe at least in some forward direction. And this is what takes you forward. Without a belief, you'd just be spinning in circles, sitting under a tree, and just being, which is not divinely productive in changing this reality. It may be productive for the individual. They may love doing that, but they'll, more so just there spinning their wheels. And Belinda asks, any hope for a twin flame separated by that vax shot? One did one and one did not, and still separated because one's corrupted. Can they ever rise up away from that poison? Well, what I say to that, Belinda, God is omnipotent, and if there had not been divine direct intervention upon the planet, the human race could quite possibly have been wiped out by now. So having said this, with the human souls in these organic vessels, um, with the photonic light coming in is activating the DNA at a very rapid pace, meaning that ones that were vaccinated with, let's say, some of the DNA and RNA, uh, the speed of the evolution of the human vessel outpaces any destruction from that. So what you're seeing is, yes, you're seeing ones miraculously more and more not being affected by it, but also you're seeing the opposite at times as well, where ones are not able to do it. But in a twin flame situation, for the most part, if both are open to that, for example, you're aware of the twin flame concept, where you're open to that, that means you're going forward in the ascension, whatever way that may be. But if, let's say, your partner is vaccinated and he's not open to that, well then, it's undetermined. Will he awaken and become aligned and believe with the twin flame? If he does, then this could very well catapult him forward. So, let's say, I'd like to say that it's on an individual basis with how things play out. So, um, yeah, so, but overall, yes, ones are raising out of the poison that you call it. And again, if it wasn't direct divine intervention with it, many would not be here. So we keep going forward and trusting and hoping. No, we keep divinely trusting. We don't need to hope because we know what's coming. We just perhaps like it to come sooner. Okay, Paula Joe, another question. Are all of the twin flames currently in the awareness of the role of mission? The answer is no on that. They are on the soul level, but with the logical human consciousness operating, they are not. They are oblivious yet, but they have it written in here when it's unlocked and when it's time, with in accordance with their awareness and their awakening. So yes, there's actually, what I wish to say for the new reality we're creating, Paula, you can put, once we get there, you can put all of the relationships in the new reality as a twin flame relationship as well. One of the reasons is because in the new reality, uh, all are sensitive to energy, the energetic effects. So it's a new environment as well. And what this does, it enable ones to discern and feel true love and so much more. So the whole game play, the whole everything changes once we're in this new reality, and we're getting closer and closer to it. So there are many that are oblivious to it, but in the blink of an eye, everything can come together very quickly again. So we don't wish to restrict anything. I thought there was lots of questions, but I got caught up with them. That's a good thing. Um, and Paula, thank you so much. Paula has Paula Joe. May you put the link to the YouTube channel that you have set up for these lives in the comments, if you will, and it'd be a great place for ones to access. And so Paula Joe has created a YouTube channel so that we populate the lives in there. Brother Rick Vornbrook had used to do it, but he has ascended uh, through the death process, if you will. So then Paula has stepped in so that we keep this legacy, if you will, but also a journal of the Ascension journey. And by having these lives, subsequent waves come up, then they got access to this information to quickly catapult them forward as well. So these are beneficial. And sometimes in these lives you may hear the same old things, but there's always, I would like to say, there's always something new put in them. And for one reason, I don't like to constantly regurgitate the basics mental teachings. I always like to add a little new ingredient into it as well. Thank you so much, Paula. So, having said this, beautiful Femka, she is out for a walk with the dog here, and I took the opportunity to get to make this connection with all of you, and both of us are continuing forward. And as you can see, we do have a beautiful little accommodation here where we stay, and we have everything we need, and we're so grateful for all the continuous support. And of course, we are very conservative. This nice, beautiful little place has one room with the bed in it and one small bathroom, and we got this beautiful nature all around us, and it's just perfect. So we never need nor ask for too much. We only need enough to do what we're temporarily doing. And if not for all of you, yeah, I'd be out perhaps not even on here, but as a joke, I'd be out in the mountains picking mushrooms, if you will, and spending my time on that, edible mushrooms to sell, and I would not be here connecting with all of you. But it's because of all of you that I am also here and able to do this. So all of you that support and assist, you're making it possible for so many. And as you know, all of us together are changing the world very quickly for humanity. And that's what it's all about, really. It's not about us. All of you will find that you're already perfectly fine, that you've already are an ascended master, if you will, and you're just getting your memory back as we go forward. But we're all fine. It's not about us, this mission. It's about the planet Gaia, Mother Earth, preserving her, restoring her to pristine conditions. And it's about the human souls, to put them up in a free and thriving, loving environment, and out of what you could call this purgatory that was created to enslave them, the actual hell. So we're raising all boats, and we're doing a divine, magnificent job with that. So, let's see, is there maybe one more question? Leah says, there seems to be a lot of work between those who have had their twin pass forward earlier than the other. With that, Leah, what I wish to say is that I'll put it this way, that ones can very well make it easier for themselves the more that they are informed, and also change that belief system away from, for example, pain, loneliness, and suffering, and exchanging it for knowing that uh, in uh, in all time you exist forever. So what you see with this experience on the planet, and what you perceive as a physical death by one it is not how things actually occur. And I was getting ready to end this, so I didn't want to get into a deep explanation with this. But at the same time, what I wish to say, ones can think that there is not a lot of work with that, with about the twin flame thing, which will eliminate work because you are a co-creator. But if you think that there is a lot of work, then you'll also inundate yourself with that, depending on how powerful of a co-creator you are. So again, the power of positivity and knowledge and higher vibration uh, makes it so much easier, and also eradicates any lower density emotion with it. So you replace that with gnosis in the least. So, so I kept it short on that and vague, and I know I really didn't get into it because I would have had asked you to ask another question in respect to what you're saying for further clarification. However, I'm getting ready to end this one, and perhaps the next one, or also if I do a Telegram live before I do, or a Telegram audio before I do another Facebook live, then if you're on there, if you're on Telegram, you can ask that question as well. And thank you, um, Leah. Also, what I say is for everyone to know that divinely the internet is secured, the social media networks that we utilize, that creates the connectivity and unity and community of the light ones. It's to facilitate everything going forward. Any interruptions that could occur in that would only be perhaps about a duration of a couple days. But the divine, as we have gone forward since, let's say, several months ago, when I'd said possible a 2 week shutdown, right at this current time, again now it's saying much has been avoided. So if there is any shutdown, it might only be for 2 days, and that may just be intermittent as well. Again, because of the divine importance of the internet and the social medias. Divinity is omnipotent and can miraculously make everything work. And so have no fear, and know that everything is fine, and don't get distracted or put into stress thinking you gotta make a new account on another social media. And yeah, don't put that stress upon you. Trust and know that everything's going to be just fine, and that we're never disconnected no matter what. So so don't get, I suggest for all, don't even energize that. Don't get caught in that loop. You know, I had to bring it up to say this, and we keep taking everything forward. So, with that, big love and gratitude, and of course, light. We love that. And all of the good things. So, love, light, and gratitude, peace, and in the blink of an eye it can happen, and have a beautiful day wherever you may be. Thank you.